So how's your sex life?
Oh, hi, doggy. Romanticization. That's the idea. I love that movie. I think I saw The Room. Maybe it was 2017 or was it 2018? I saw it around the same time as What We Do in the Shadows, oddly enough. But oh my God, so obsessed. I love it. The chip, 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 chip. So cool.
Stupid.
It's still crazy to think that you have a signed copy by Tommy Wiseau. The Room.
I bought it from him on Twitter. Because I follow him on Twitter and I saw that he kept posting. And I was like, who buys them?
What a
Well,
goat.
me. I buy them.
I'm gonna buy
because
a
the more
pack of briefs
the
from
more I
him,
thought
so-
about it, I'm like, it's fucking iconic. Like, I have to have it. And also, he gave me a super good deal.
Super is literally in the description.
I bought, because I wanted a t-shirt, the one that said, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa." I wanted that t-shirt, and then it was like in a package form, and it was that t-shirt, and then 2 other t-shirts. One of them said, "Haha, what a story, Mark."
That's the wife beater, right? Ha 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 ha.
And then the other one had like a bunch of little quotes and like scenes. It's super awesome.
A little sad. It didn't come with, he's your financial support. I love the bomb. Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, "Oh, the shirts are cool. I want to buy them." And they were it was $30 for the whole thing. And then it was a copy of the movie, and I was like, "Oh my God, perfect deal." But there's more. It came with a bonus extra gift of a free N95 mask to be COVID safe and watch The Room.
Gosh. What an icon.
What an icon. He sells
Do I
like
want him or do I want to be him? I don't know.
he sells like underwear. Tommy Wiseau, like that's his brand. Underwear. We saw on the website he has watches.
He has watches too.
It's
Really fancy watches.
Oh, you're showing.
Do that insert.
Nice editing.
I know. It's like this video is not sponsored by Tommy Wiseau Productions or The Room,
No, it's not.
but we would so love for it to be.
That's what I bought. Yeah.
Show
And-
it. I want to get that too.
Yeah, we're showing on the video on YouTube what I bought, the package I bought. It was all for $30, which the shipping
what
was
a
kind of
steal.
expensive. So
It's like 10, right? Or 15?
it was 15. So I think some of the cost was like hitting in the shipping, but still like $45 for 3 t-shirts, The Room, DVD, Blu-ray, and a free N95 mask to be COVID safe. Come on. What a deal.
Love it.
Haha.
He needs to start selling
What a
those.
deal, Mark.
Wow, you invited all my friends. Good idea. Or how did you say it?
But dude, okay.
God, it's been a hot minute.
I needed to have it, so I bought into it.
What
I
a
was one of those
romantic.
people that at the beginning I was like, who the fuck is buying this? Well, the fuck I am.
Did you think that he was actually going to sign it? Because he tweeted that, right?
No. Well, I didn't see anything that... I didn't see anything. He just tweeted like he had a sale going on, I guess. But honestly, he has sales going on every day. If you follow him on Twitter, like he's always posting about his things that he's selling. And it's like the most random things on his website. Like we saw a teddy bear.
Oh, yeah, with the tuxedo holding like a football.
Yeah, and then
That's so cute.
some watches. And then he had a bobblehead, which that was cool.
I definitely need that so I can put it next to
Yeah.
my Dwight bobblehead at work.
And then he sells underwear, which is like,
Sexy.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's like whatever he can like manufacture, he sells. And I think it's a vampire. I stand by what I said. I think it's a fucking vampire.
I think he's doing some shit under the table. I feel like he's getting all that money.
But honestly, even for $45, including the shipping, 3 t-shirts, the DVD or the Blu-ray, I always say DVD.
Yeah.
The Blu-ray and the mask. Come on. Just for the t-shirts, I would have paid $45.
True. Well, I mean, I'm okay.
15
Like,
each?
I'm thinking about like fast fashion. Like, clothes can be like $10, right? Like shirts. But that's if you like mass produce it, right?
Right.
Because I mean, if you're buying from somebody who's like let's say a
But
local band, they're like 20, 30 bucks.
Most of my clothing is like they're t-shirts. Like I love wearing t-shirts, so I was like, okay, it would be cool to have like a t-shirt from The Room, because it's like it's a cult classic. Like you know, if you know, you know. So I don't know. I just thought it would be cool to just wear it around, and like if people saw me, it would be like, you're tearing me. Well, anyway, I bought it. I don't regret anything. And again, I'm romanticizing the idea of somebody meeting me on the street and stopping me and saying, "Oh my god, I love that movie," or whatever. Like,
well, here I am.
well, it actually happened, but with you. But I already know you, so it didn't actually happen how I imagined it.
But I mean, just
but
as
it happened
special because it was unexpected. I didn't know that you knew this movie, and I can't believe it was sitting on your shelf all this time. I should have been way more.
Well, actually,
observant.
I got it like a week ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had just gotten it on the mail.
Yeah, because actually sometimes I do stare at like your VHS collection, and it was there right at the bottom. So cool. It's even better because you have it signed. Like I was totally
not expecting
fangirling over it. Oh,
that was unexpected.
Tommy. Oh, what's his name in the? It's not
Tommy. I think it's Tommy too.
No, isn't it like Johnny?
Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Johnny.
Come to bed, Johnny.
Give one last day.
What's the kid's name? Oh my god. What he's like, stop ganging up on me. My name is Luna.
And I'm Polly.
And this is
The Other Side.
And this week we are talking about romanticizing things, just like our good old friend Tommy did.
Dude, for real.
For the sake of love. So
it's not always associated with like, well, the thing is, again, I like immediately go love equals like romantic, lust, love, passionate. But it
That's
could
how
be
most
a
people
lot.
see it.
Yeah. It could be different types of love. But just the idea about I told Luna, let's talk about the problem with romanticizing everything. Because I feel like we're the same way, and maybe people listening to the podcast can identify themselves with this, but like I literally plan everything that's gonna happen in my life in my head. Everything that has ever happened, like I've thought about already. I have this idea of how my life is supposed to be every day, even in the most mundane stuff, like going to the grocery store. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to meet someone that's going to stop me and be like, oh my God, I love that band. And like, we're going to fall in love.
Do you have any Leo
married.
placements?
Huh?
Do you have any Leo placements?
No. Because I'm so cocky.
Oh my gosh. No, not so much cocky, but like it's a sort of
remember, I'm a narcissist.
What's it called? It's a complex. It's not the God complex. It's just you seem to always think about yourself like in third person almost. And I remember when I was first reading about that, my Leo moon and Mars, like it says that Leos have a tendency to always like think of themselves like in retrospect, like how do people perceive me? And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I remember when I was younger, I used to always describe it that way. I'm like, I don't know how to explain to you guys, but I'm always thinking of myself, but from other people's perceptions. And it's not so much of like what they think of me, but like, how do I seem like to the world in general?
I am always thinking about that.
But that aside, like, I think the whole romanticizing thing, like, I think your Pisces Venus and my Virgo Venus can totally, like, relate on that. Just always wanting things to be a certain way. Dude. Also, I'm a Libra, like, come on.
I don't know if it has to do with like being a control freak, because it's not even about that. It's not that I want to control a situation, but I already have an idea of how things are supposed to be. But the bad thing about this is that most of the time, it of course doesn't happen. Like I think it's gonna happen in my head, so I end up disappointed.
And that's why I don't even want to try sometimes with people, because it's like, no, I like you. I don't like that I like you, because it's just, it's not going to end up being the way I want it to be.
Dude, honestly, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I like you, but I'm just going to ignore it because yeah, it's
We
not gonna
just
end
love
well for me.
ourselves too much, I think.
We what?
We love ourselves too much. Like,
Dude, I'm
we
telling
build
you,
up these ideas.
It's the narcissism in me, I think.
Should
I don't
I
know.
just be using that too? Because I feel like I relate a lot. But that word sounds dirty.
Narcissism?
Yeah, it sounds evil. Sounds cutthroat.
I just think I'm conceited. Like I'm
am too.
I'm too into myself. But then and again, I also hate myself. So I don't know what the fuck.
It's just being so
Aware of.
yes, but like consumed by yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole thing. It's the good and the bad. It's the insecurity and just over obsession.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I am consumed.
You know, something I get really sad about though is like when I romanticize music and attach them to like feelings.
Dude.
Yes, people, but that's a whole other topic. But wait, just like feeling like, oh my God, like this song is everything. Like,
You know
this
what I
song
always say?
moves me.
I've never heard anybody else say it, but I'm like, sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, what do I need to do to live in this song? And I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yes, it
but
does.
Like,
It absolutely does.
I wanna live in the feeling of that song.
Yes.
If that makes sense. I don't know, or like, or let's say a video that I love a video. I'm like, how do I tattoo this video to myself? Like I want it to be me forever.
Whenever I hear a really good song, I feel like what a lot of people think of other people, right? Like people they feel like those feelings for, like if it's about love or something. But I cannot help but always picture myself in a music video of that song.
Dude.
And you guessed it, I'm the main character. And I'm
Watching
sitting
through
like
the
on the
window,
throne with like
sad.
really dramatic like makeup on, and like there's just dancers around me doing really like cool like FK Twigs stuff, you know, like Rolex contemporary and all that. And I'm just there like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch. I don't know why. I mean, for certain songs, right, when the beat drops, but like even with the really nice, eloquent music, I'm just like, I'm totally running through a field right now in the 1800s because we're
flowers.
pretending I live like on Little House on the Prairie or something. Always, I love music. Oh, you know, something so corny, like, gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say it even on the podcast, but like as a kid, as a teenager, I used to say, like, I don't need to get high. Like, music already makes me feel high.
I still say that.
But I
to this
still,
day.
I feel connected to that because
yeah.
it gives me, I become
stand by
very
that
euphoric.
statement to this day.
But it was always because people were like, do you like smoke? And it's like, no, bro, I have Spotify.
I just started a thread on Twitter that's like best compliments I've ever gotten. And I'm actually going to add this to that thread because one time when somebody told me, dude, you don't even need to get high. You're just naturally high. I'm like, music, bro. Like, seriously, It gets me on such a high. And it's like, not drug related. Like I'm just like living my best
I'm
life.
not inebriated.
vibing.
I'm not lifted. But it's just, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's just so stimulating, honestly. Like that is the word, because like I feel everything when I'm listening to a really good song, and it's when you're able to like dissect all the parts and just like feel like it's all being orchestrated in front of you. Like it's just so beautiful. And I'm not like a whole like music buff or anything, but like the song from Chef's Table, I think someone said it was Beethoven or something, or what was the other guy? I'm so bad with classic music. Mozart.
The one I have.
It was I think you told me it was a something like that. I love that so much. Like music is such a big deal for me, and if I listen, like if I watch a film, like the OST, the original soundtrack, like it has to be everything. I already listened to the entire like original soundtrack of Minari, and it is fucking beautiful. What a masterpiece. Like I feel like I've already experienced the movie without even watching it, and I already have like some idea. But again, this is the episode of Romanticizing, guys, right? So I am building up an idea of what Minari is, but that music,
and you haven't even seen it, so it's like you already have these expectations for the movie.
But I'm just gonna make some little guesses here. I feel like it's gonna take place a lot like in nature. It's gonna take place like in fields or some sort of like connecting with others, but not a lot of talking. It's just a lot of like looking into the vastness of things. Something like that. That's just gonna be my little guess of how the movie's gonna go. It might get deep. It might get ugly. I mean, it is immigrants in America, right?
Yeah.
So probably not what I think it is. But the music is so beautiful. I'm so excited.
But that's also a bad thing. Let's say that you watch the movie and like it's totally the complete opposite thing. So it's like, fuck, it's not what I expected. And then you end up not liking the movie because it's not what you expected. That happens to me like in real life with people, with scenarios, events, everything. Like I'm like, fuck, this is not how I plan things. Even if things are going well, but it's not exactly how I imagined it in my head. To me, it's like it's ruined.
Yes.
This is not what I wanted. Take it back. I don't want it.
Yes. Yes.
But why? Why can't I just enjoy the moment?
What is that? Why are we like that? It's so just like micromanaging. Just we want everything to be exactly the way we want it to.
Is it a control thing?
Absolutely.
You think so?
But it's not like we have a lot of control in our lives. Like, why are we born this way? Because it's not like I had everything made out the way I wanted it to. But for some reason, my brain's like, okay, like this date's going to go exactly like this. Or like this job interview is going to go exactly like that. And you're going to go to this concert and it's going to sound just like this. Oh, by the way, so upsetting when like you listen to a band live and they're not at all like how they sound. And I'm like,
you know what band? The only band that has lived up to how they play actually like on their CD or whatever. Molotov.
True. Yeah.
Molotov is.
They're the only ones
that I've listened to.
Out of everyone you've ever heard live?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my
Molotov.
gosh.
They're even better live. So good.
For me, it's Interpol. They're
I've never seen.
God, just so good. Who else?
Not even
Sales.
like a list. Like I've watched Arctic Monkeys. ¿Cuál fue el otro de Pal
There's a
Norte?
lot of big artists that don't live up to it.
Gorillaz.
You see Gorillaz. Wow.
¿Cómo se llama? Fuck. The other one that was in Pal Norte last year? Well, the year before last year.
I wasn't there.
It was
I'm talking about 2019. Kings of Leon?
Kings of Leon. Kings of Lion.
They didn't?
Of Leon. It was nothing special that I can recall being like, oh my god.
Because there's another thing. The only time I can make an exception to like my great expectations of bands is like, even if they don't sound the same, as long as like they're able to keep up like a performance and like just sound truly like,
to
I
the
don't know,
essence
just
of
so good and talented. Because I know a lot of it nowadays is like it's all generated through, you know, it's not all auto-tuned, but you know, some stuff it's not exactly how we hear it. That's just a product of everything put together for it. But oh my gosh, yeah.
There's been moments in my life where I've literally like planned things out to the T.
Oof.
And I'm like going through this, but it's like the person I'm with either doesn't want to participate or they're like half-assing things. And I'm like, bro, like, come on, like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Why are you not? But the thing is, it's like, is it because it's maybe the wrong person, I think. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I feel that. I have felt that a lot of times, like in friend situations, but more so like in romantic situations or like, you know, in relationships. And I'm just like, it's like always like a ticking time bomb. Yeah. And then I'm just like, really? I'm really going to be the only one interested in this room right now? Like, this sucks. I want there to be a little bit more insight, a little bit more conversation. But then I'm like, oh God, I sound like every like middle-aged woman who's just like not happy in their marriage or something. They're just like, I just want you to talk to me, or let's just go out for a Friday night date or something. I'm like, am I gonna turn into that? Am I always gonna be begging for more? I don't like that. I don't like begging.
Or maybe it's also the fault of like, because I don't know, what what movie was it? I don't remember what movie it was, but it was like they were on a date, a super boring date, and then they started playing characters, different characters. And they're like making up these characters, and like they didn't even have to like say, oh, let's play this. They just started talking, and like the other one caught on, and they were like playing around like that. I'm like, oh, I want to do that.
That's
and then
fun.
I remember like trying to do that with somebody, and then they didn't play along. They were all confused, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like, come on, like, just.
That's chemistry, dude. That's energy. That's like when you can do anything with that person, and they'll just get it.
But
it's like them going with it because it's nobody else in the room. It's just you two. Instead of somebody overthinking it and being all like, "What am I supposed to say?" Or
but does it always have to be that way? Because like thinking of somebody specific, let's say that sometimes you hit it where it's supposed to be, and sometimes you don't. So it's like, is it the person? Is it the moment? Or is it just me having such high expectations?
I always blame myself, but I mean, like, at what point am I going to stop blaming myself and just blame the fact that people are just boring or they just don't get me? That sounds narcissistic.
Or maybe other people think we're boring. And like, or we're
they're not allowed to think that if they don't contribute whatsoever, if they're just there saying nothing all the time. But,
dude, it's honestly the movie's fault that we think this way.
That's a whole other thing. I feel like I just want to live like in a Hollywood film or something. I don't even watch like classic films all that much. Like I just watch like, anything that's come out in the past 30 years. But it's like, but I mean, those have set up pretty high expectations too. And especially like indie films. It's like, oh, fuck you. Because obviously like I'm not going to watch like the movies back then where like the jock and like the girl and like whatever.
The typical story.
Exactly. Now they make movies where like the dorky girl gets the guy and then guy's all mysterious. And that's also another thing I did a lot. When I was a teenager, I read a lot of sci-fi fantasy. And it was very Twilight-esque where like the girl's normal, but she's eclectic. She's insightful. She's a little like different than most girls.
And you're like,
she wears a lot of flannel and Converse. And hey, that's me. And here comes the new guy, the mysterious guy. And that would be like Edward Cullen in this situation, right? And he's always like, I'm a vampire, or like, I've killed a man, or something like that. And he totally has interest in her. And I'm just like, ugh, that's so gonna be me. I'm not gonna be with any of these fucking losers here. Like, I'm totally gonna get on the back of a motorcycle with a guy, and we're just gonna drive off to who the fuck knows where. Yeah.
Maybe that's also like a problem because I'm like always trying to live up to my own expectations and like trying to uplive or like outdo every moment that I've already done. It's like, that's impossible.
It's that's also accepting. I feel like I'm boring because I don't think that way anymore. No, like I used to. Or like
my life is not that interesting, but like I want it to be, so I'm like always disappointed. Maybe that's a problem.
But I have to say this. It's not that I get it all the time, but I've got it enough times where people are like, you're like so interesting, you're so different. I don't know what it is about you, your energy and this and that. And I just feel nothing for it. Like, and that's why I don't feel like I'm narcissistic or something, or that I'm not like attention seeking. Like, yes, I'm 100% all about me, but like, doesn't it say something if I don't care what other people think? I know what I want to look like, but it's different when like I don't need to be validated by others.
No, because, well, I don't know. But like for me, I also don't care what, like how other people perceive me. Like some people have told me, oh, that doesn't look good on you. But I'm like, fuck you, dude. I think I look good.
But you just want to make sure you're doing like your absolute most to be what you want to be, right?
Yeah.
That's a thing. Oh my God, dude, this sounds so bitchy. But like, I just feel like I'm just in my high school like phase right now. But I remember I used to find it so insulting whenever people would be like, wow, I love your style. It's so unique and different. Like, it would mean nothing to me if they had just said it like to some other girl who was totally like opposite of me. Real basic, like, I don't know, just Aeropostale, Hollister, Victoria's Secret type stuff. And I'm just like, how fucking dare you? If you say that to her and then to me, we're not the same. And I would just be like, No, disqualified. Like, I'm not even going to take that compliment. That is a problem I have, is I refuse to believe that people understand me. I just don't. Like, even if people are just trying to be nice, I'm just like, but you just don't get me. Like, why am I refusing? I don't know why. That's
It's
a
not
problem.
face, Mom.
I know. It's just like, don't say I look cool. I know I'm cool, but not the cool that you think I'm looking like. Stop.
It's different. You wouldn't get it. Dude, I don't know. Like,
What a hipster.
For me, it's more like, I think it's, when I think about like romanticizing, I think it's more like people. Because I create these ideas about people in my head based on certain moments that maybe, yes, we've had, but like those moments for some reason stick in my head, and like I just, again, I create these ideas about things, and like as you meet people, well, you see the good, you see the bad, you see the boring, you see the exciting, but I only keep the exciting parts, the good parts, and I'm always like trying to live up to those moments again, and like trying to find those moments again, and like it's not always gonna be like that, so I just always end up disappointed.
Relationship problems 101. Yeah, that's the thing. And I feel like, especially when people break up, like after it not working out and time goes by, like those are the things that you seem to remember. It's just those good things. And then you're like, wait, did those things really happen, or were they just in my head that kept me going?
Dude.
And
Or
that's
like,
the thing people don't want to let go. You know?
like
It's
the
just-
movie, you mentioned it before, like 500 Days of Summer. Like,
I know, I was thinking about it earlier. So that's a great romanticizing, like,
dude,
movie.
he had this whole idea in his head of what summer was, and not que ver, you
For
know.
real.
It's total. That movie is the epitome of like romanticizing a relationship. That's,
It is.
That's not like. It's
So
just
is,
in your head, bro. Like,
So is Eternal
that's so
Sunshine.
sad
right?
though, because Eternal Sunshine, I think it's more about remembering the good and the bad stuff that happened throughout the relationship, and like he wanting. I'm like spoiling the whole movie, dude.
Who cares? That movie is so old already. I've always seen it as like a deeper version of like 500 Days of
500
Summer,
Days of
because
Summer.
it's more introspective. But isn't it
It's
something
more
like that where like,
sci-fi-ish.
but it's because she has issues, right? And he's just okay with like being with her, but it's not enough for her, right? Something like that. I only saw it once, and I wasn't really.
Her problem is that she says that she gets bored with her life, with people around her. So like she's always looking for adventure, and I relate to her so much, and I feel like I'm romanticizing her into me.
You're romanticizing the manic pixie.
Well, the thing is, okay, before watching that movie, I felt like I was already that person, and then I watched the movie, and I was like, bro, what the fuck did I just watch my life? Like, seriously, I felt like that. I felt so connected to that movie, and since then I've been like trying to stay within that character, I think. Yeah, I don't know.
So we are not only victims of being the manic pixie, we are the certified manic pixie.
Dude,
We love it.
and I want to stay there, to be honest. I think it's cool.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't like it when... I think it's just cheesy. I think because it used to like get to me when I was younger. I liked when like dudes would tell me like, oh my God, you have such great taste in music. You're so different. I was like, thanks. That's so nice. But I guess now it's just like everybody looks like me now, I think. Okay, not everybody, but I feel like all these styles, all these things I'm into, like there's plenty of it already. Like, I just don't want to hear that. What I want to hear is people say like, you're kind, you're very smart, you're passionate, like all the boring stuff. Like, that's what I want to hear now. But yeah.
I don't know what I want. I seriously don't know what I want.
I mean, flattery is a nice thing. but still, like, I feel like I would want to hear like some other stuff. Like, tell me something different, because that again is me being the whole, like, you know, with the checklist thing. Like, I know you love me for real if you tell me real things, like not just some surface level stuff. Like, oh, you like cool music. Like, that's just not enough for me anymore.
Maybe
Like
I
it
haven't
used
thought
to
about this
before.
as deep as you have.
Oh my God, I have.
But
No,
for me,
believe
it's
me, I
like
have.
I still have this idea in my head that I'm gonna meet. Talking about romantic love, I still have this idea in my head that I'm someday gonna be walking through the store with my t-shirt of my favorite band, and they're gonna stop me and be like, "Oh my God, I love that band." Kind of like a mix of like 500 Days of Summer and Eternal Sunshine. And they're gonna be this super boring person, and I'm gonna show them the world. I'm gonna show them how to live, and then we're gonna get married in Vegas. We're gonna elope, and then we're also gonna get divorced, because all marriages end in divorce for me. So it's like I'm also like, not even when I say romanticizing, I mean the good and the bad. Because I already have this idea of like what my life is, my romantic life is going to be. And I'm not even like letting things happen. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I think the thing is with like romanticizing in relationships, it's that like, I think as females, like we want to feel like validated. So we look for that praise. And it's especially like wholesome or like fulfilling if it comes from someone who we feel like is not exposed to maybe like some of the things we've been exposed to, right? So music, all this different types of stuff. But then like time goes on and it's like you kind of get bored with them because like, again, like they don't come from any of that. And you're just like, this isn't enough. And then you're on to looking for something else until somebody else can fall for you. And then it's just like that constant need of like attention. That's just that's the toxic side about it, I think, of being a manic pixie.
Or like I think just in general romanticizing stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I think that, yes, I want to find this boring person that I'm going to show them the world, right? But if I do that, that means that this person is so different from me, and like we're not even gonna have things in common, so like it's not even gonna work. So I don't know.
Because chances are, if you meet somebody that like is a lot like you, that's into the same music and this and that, like chances are they've already had that moment with somebody else.
To be honest, like I've met people that are like super similar to me, and honestly, it gets boring. Like, I've remembered being in situations where I'm like, dude, like, stop talking about that. Like, I've heard this. Like, I was there too, you know? Like, move on.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
That's why in my head, I'm romanticizing the idea of meeting somebody so totally opposite of who I am, so I can show them how to live. Like I said, I don't know.
I feel like I've already like gone through all the different experiences. Would be like being with somebody who comes from nowhere near the world that I live in, somebody who is super, super, like almost crazy identical to me, and then some people are kind of just like fluctuating in the middle. And at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter. I always get bored because I just feel like they don't get me. They just don't get me. They don't understand me. I hate that I'm like that. Sometimes I feel like it's because my mom's like that or something. Sometimes she tells me like we're so alike and like, you know, we want all these different things and like maybe we look for them in people and it's not in them. And that's another thing. It's like, why are we looking for those things in people? Because maybe sometimes they can be enough, but it just depends on what you want.
Guys, we're going to cut off into audio only for the remainder of the episode. If you want to continue listening to our romanticized stories, hop on to Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'll leave the links on the description below from our YouTube channel. Like I said, I don't know what I want, because at the same time, I'm only attracted to people who like the same stuff like I do. But then I say that I want